Hi there, Benjamin Vaughn, bat specialist. Many companies advertise they do bat control. The majority are completely unqualified. Some are so bad they will rip you off and actually make your bat problems worse. It is important to get this right. Now, this list can't tell you who to hire, but it will show you who to avoid and save you a lot of misery and money. Red flag number 1, no online bat control reviews. If a company claims they are experts in bat control, check out their online reviews. And if all the reviews are about raccoon problems, squirrel problems, skunk problems, and bird problems, it's because what they're really experts in is raccoons, squirrels, skunks, and birds, not bats. And that's a red flag. Never hire a company with few, if any, online bat control reviews. Oh, and I'll link to our online reviews at the end of the video. Red flag number 2, they use mesh for bat exclusion. Never hire a company that makes bat exclusion devices out of mesh. Why? Because bats get stuck in them and die. Nothing screams incompetence louder than a company using mesh to make bat exclusion devices. Now, plastic exclusion devices are definitely safer. However, most houses that have bats have some mice too. This becomes a problem when you begin bat-proofing the building, because all that caulking and sealing will close off most of the openings used by mice. This will force the mice to use the bat exclusion vents to exit the building. However, bat exclusion vents are designed to let bats jump out into open air. Now, since mice can't fly, the mice begin chewing on the soft plastic to make themselves a new entry-exit point that they can actually use. And of course, the bats will use these new openings to get back into the building. Sunlight alone destroyed this piece of junk exclusion vent. The result's the same. Bats and mice can waltz right back in. This is why we personally use exclusion vents made of aluminum. Because as you can see, bats can pass easily through them, and they won't be destroyed by mice. Always ask any company you're thinking of hiring, what kind of exclusion vents do you use? And ask to see pictures too. Red flag number 3, they use 1-inch square mesh for bat-proofing work. 1-inch square mesh is a staple of the wildlife control industry. And it's a great product for keeping raccoons and squirrels out of chimneys and attics. Unfortunately, the fact that bats can easily pass through it does not stop many wildlife companies from using it for bat control. And as you can see, whether they're going in or coming out, the bats can pass right through it without too much fuss. Now, preventing raccoon and squirrel damage is an important part of bat control because bats will absolutely take advantage of any openings made by other wildlife. In this particular example here, the opening you see was being used by red squirrels during the day and by the bats at night. And that meant a large part of bat-proofing this house involved us making it squirrel-proof too. Now, to make things like chimneys and vents bat-proof, you're going to have to use mesh. The solution is half-inch mesh. Safe and legal to use on both wood and gas chimneys, half-inch mesh can also be used to make box screens that are raccoon, squirrel, bird, and bat-proof. Fire. Never hire anyone using 1-inch mesh for bat control. Red flag number 4, they use silicone caulk or one type of caulk on everything. Ugly, unsightly, unpaintable, unstainable. The use of this product in bat control is unforgivable. Bat-proofing a house properly will require the use of several different types of caulk. We personally use about 4 different types on a regular basis. For things like brick, vinyl siding, and wood, we only use thermoplastics and latex caulkings that can be stained and painted if needed. For roofs, we go to a much higher quality and more expensive type of caulk. This special caulking is formulated to withstand the pounding it will take from summer heat and winter cold that would rapidly break down the ordinary caulks bought at hardware stores. So, if the person you are thinking of hiring can't talk intelligently about different types of caulk, and knows the correct applications for each, then you shouldn't hire them. Red flag number 5, they don't have a sheet metal brake. Whether reinforcing intersections like this, or installing custom drip edge flashings to cover builder's gaps like we see here, the ability to make and install custom metal flashings is a must if you want to keep the bats and other wildlife out long term. You can always tell when a non-specialist company doesn't have the ability to make and install custom flashings because they will want to spray ugly yellow foam in all the large gaps and slap ugly mesh on everything else. So if you want the bat-proofing work on your home to look like this and not this, and this and not that, then you had better make sure that whoever you hire has a metal brake and rolls of metal with them. Red flag number 6. They don't know about drip edge flashings. Now there's an entire video on this subject on my YouTube channel, but the basic story is that good roofers install a metal flashing under the first row of shingles called drip edge or a starter strip. Its primary function is to prevent water damage caused by rainwater getting under the edge of the shingles. When installed properly, it also covers small, framing gaps that bats, mice, and other wildlife will use to access the attic. Unfortunately, contractors regularly skip on it to save themselves a couple $100, and retrofitting drip edge is an absolute pain in the butt. But it's also not optional if you want to keep bats out of your home. Now, in our experience, non-specialist hacks usually ignore the lack of drip edge, if you're lucky. If you're unlucky, they're going to slap their useless 1-inch mesh on it or try to fill the gap with foam. It is hard to convey just how important proper drip edge flashings are, but nothing will have a bigger impact on price than the presence or absence of drip edge. So if the person you are thinking about hiring isn't asking about it or talking about it in their quotes or contracts, then they do not know what they are doing. Red flag number 7. They only guarantee their work. This is subtle, but important. I started to notice in recent years that homeowners ripped off by non-specialist companies were given contracts that guaranteed the work they did. Now it sounds nice, but the scam is that when the bats continued to be a problem, they were told that yes, the work they did was guaranteed, but since they were still having bat problems, that meant more bat-proofing work needed to be done, and that would cost more money. I kid you not. What this means is that when they fail to fix your bat problem, they've set it up so you will have to pay them to come back and fix their screw-ups. It's Machiavellian, and it's a red flag, so when a company says they guarantee their work, tell them you want to guarantee that they will fix the problem. As in, there will be no more bats getting in your house, and they won't charge you if they have to come back. Red flag number 8. They don't have enough ladders and roof access equipment. Ladder levelers, ridge hooks, roof boots, jacks and planks, and lots of ladders. You're gonna need a lot of ladders. Because in bat control, the really important work is done up high, at the top of a ladder or on the roof. And to get up high safely, you will need a lot of ladders and specialized equipment, especially on metal roofs or roofs with steep pitches. So if the company you are thinking of hiring only has a couple of ladders and can't tell you the difference between a ridge hook and a roof boot, then you need to give them the boot. Never hire a company without lots of ladders and specialized roof equipment. Red flag number 9. They only give warranties of 1 to 3 years. When I hear that some companies only offer 1 to 3 year warranties, I always wonder what happens to their bat-proofing work after 3 years. I mean, will it melt? Will it evaporate? A 3-year warranty is pathetic. They are telling you they have no confidence in their abilities. If they actually knew what they were doing, they would be offering you a warranty of 10 years minimum. We regularly offer lifetime warranties because we know that after we bat-proof a house, it's going to take a hurricane to undo our work. Never hire companies offering 1 to 3 year warranties. Red flag number 10. They use fear tactics. Fact. Your annual odds of dying of rabies is 1 in half a billion. Fact. Most residential bat colonies are small, and the amount of damage they can do to your home is small as well. Now, yes, there are some major infestation cases where bats can do a lot of damage and are a health threat. But for most homeowners experiencing bat problems, that will not be the case. Despite this, many companies automatically use fear tactics to sell their services regardless of circumstances. This lack of nuance is a red flag. If the company you're talking to is just hitting you over the head with fear talk, hang up and find someone who isn't just trying to sell. And never hire a company that uses fear tactics. Here's a quick summary of the red flags. Number 1, check their online reviews. Number 2, ask what kind of exclusion devices do they use. Number 3, do they use 1-inch mesh? Number 4, do they use silicone caulk or one kind of caulk only? Number 5, do they have a sheet metal brake? Number 6, do they talk about drip edge flashings? Number 7, do they guarantee their work or guarantee they fix the bat problem? Number 8, do they only offer 1 to 3 year warranties? Number 9, do they have lots of ladders and roof access equipment? And number 10, do they use fear tactics? We hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to learn more, check out our YouTube channel. Or if you'd like to see us in action bat-proofing a house, well, there's a link to that right here.